chin kit. Calling on our friends. Off equipped. One, two, three. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Rob, what dB, minus dB would these be? I'm on minus 50 dB, will that be right? Or would it be something different? Like on the, is it the same as a shotgun mic or is it the same as like a handheld? Yeah. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that sounds a bit better. Yeah. Hi Tom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. I've got it on auto level because you might shout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that sound okay at your end? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great commentator, aren't I, mate? Yeah? Alright, let me see what I can do. Let me try and boost it up to like 70, minus 70 dB, see if I, oh actually no, the other way. Hang on. 60, right, that'll do. Yeah, okay, how's that sound? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Do you need a bit more than that, or is that okay? 1, 2, 3. Great, I'll leave it at that then. Thank you, mate. Okay, how does that sound now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's probably going to talk about this sort of level It's peaking quite high at the camera, but I've got it on auto, so just in case he screams and shouts, I'll not be monitoring it. Cool, I'll go with that. Thanks, mate.
Well, a very good afternoon to you and a warm welcome to the LNER Community Stadium in York, where Newcastle United's pre-season programme gets underway this afternoon. Kick-off in about 5 minutes' time against York City of the National League North. It is another glorious day. Few clouds in the sky at the moment, but bright sunshine for most of the day so far, and 27 degrees here. Pitch getting a bit of a soaking from the sprinkler system, and the two teams just finalising their preparations inside the changing rooms on the far side of this brand new ground. Let's have a look in a bit of detail at the two teams, and remember Newcastle's plans for today's friendlies were changed after goalkeeper Carl Darlow tested positive for COVID-19. He has to isolate for 10 days. Now all other first team players and staff members returned negative tests, but fellow goalkeepers Freddie Woodman and Mark Gillespie are also now in isolation after being identified as close contacts. So Steve Bruce had been due to split his first team squad between York here and nearby Harrogate, and include some academy players in both groups, but to minimise mixing between the teams and the two dressing rooms, it is now a senior side here and an under-23s 11 that is taking on Harrogate. And Steve Bruce has named this 11 to start the match against York. In goal is Dan Langley, 20 years of age, who has come through the academy, signed a new 2-year contract in March. He is 6'7", and you may remember that he has been training and around the first team for a while and was actually on the bench in the Premier League against West Brom in December last season. But he gets his first opportunity to play for the first team today. Dan Langley in front of what looks like three central defenders: Federico Fernandez, the skipper Jamal Lascelles, who's back after missing the final 8 games of last season, and Kel Watts, who had a successful loan spell last year with Plymouth Argyle in League One. Jacob Murphy and Matt Ritchie in the wing-back roles. Jeff Hendrick alongside Isaac Hayden, himself back from an injury layoff, though he returned to training before the end of last season. They're in the middle of the park with Ryan Fraser and Joe Linton either side of Callum Wilson, now wearing the number 9 shirt, and Joe Linton for this year has taken over the number 7. Newcastle's bench features Max Thompson, 16-year-old goalkeeper, son of the long-serving club kitman Ray Thompson, alongside Kieran Clark, Paul Dummett, Matty and Sean Longstaff, Jamal Lewis, Alan San-Maxima, Dwight Gale and Yoshinori Muto. Among the players missing today is John Joe Shelby, who has a slight knock, and Florian Lejeune also not involved in Newcastle's squad today. York City, the hosts, managed by the former Newcastle player Steve Watson, have named a strong side, and it looks like it's probably going to be a 4-2-3-1 system, but we'll find out exactly when the match gets underway. Ryan Whitley plays in goal. Michael Duckworth, Josh King, Sean Newton the skipper, and Scott Barrow, once of Gateshead, are the defenders from right to left. Akil Wright and former Newcastle Academy player Paddy McLaughlin, though now 30 years of age, the holding players in midfield. Then Ollie Dyson, Mackenzie Heaney, who you may have read quite a bit about this week, formerly of Newcastle's Academy, has just signed for York. He's wearing number 15. And Kurt Willoughby, who has number 9 and is about to get the game underway, with Clayton Donaldson, the experienced 37-year-old striker, back at York wearing number 10. And here we go, live on NUFC TV. This is Matthew Raisbeck from BBC Radio Newcastle. We bring you every Newcastle match exclusively live throughout the season on the radio, and all the games will once again be here on NUFC TV as they look to construct an attack straight away. United, Wilson just getting crowded out on the edge of the area. And York play it out from the back. Both teams wearing their new home kits. Newcastle with the black and white stripes now provided by Castor. Hayden back to Fernandez. And now an early touch for Langley. And goes across to Lascelles, under pressure. And quickly taken throw by Murphy. Bit of skill from Joe Linton to keep the Magpies in possession, and that's a lovely pass with the outside of the right boot by Murphy. Fraser making the run for Ritchie's ball, but behind it goes. Now this is only the second time York City have played at their new ground, which is also home to the York City Knights Rugby League team. The first was 5 months ago against Fylde in a National League North fixture, just days before that season in the league was declared null and void. They've been waiting a long time to move, delays of about 8 years for various reasons before they could get the ground built and opened, and this is the first time York have played in front of their fans at their new home. Lascelles with the challenge, and a fair one on halfway. Wilson stretching. McLaughlin tidying up. Duckworth under pressure from Ritchie for Newcastle, but Akil Wright, the York midfielder, can bring it away, and Newcastle have it back once again. Trying to play the ball around on what's a lovely, smooth-looking surface. Kel Watts there with number 35 for Newcastle on this near left side. Over on the far side of the pitch, it's Lascelles to Murphy and back to Hayden on halfway. Ritchie once again has Fraser down the line, but comes back inside to Hayden. What a great ball that is by Isaac Hayden to release Murphy. Couldn't pick out Wilson in the middle though. It's a big kick from Whitley. Donaldson helps it on. Watts got a bit of the ball, but also his opponent there as Ritchie brings it away into Joe Linton. 2 on him. Gets away nicely and tried to slip it through for Wilson. Just didn't quite get there thanks to the efforts of Josh King, the York defender wearing number 12. And now we have a stoppage as the referee goes to check on a player in York City red. Just caught late by Watts as he went into that challenge. So an early break in play here with no goals so far. Newcastle making the relatively short trip to this ground, having been training in the area for the last week at Queen Ethelburgos Collegiate, a school to the northwest of York. They also used those facilities, you may remember, in pre-season last year. Steve Bruce impressed by them, and with foreign trips not really a possibility this summer, very happy to bring his squad back to this area and round off the week with a game here. Well, the thumbs up from the York physio, and Ollie Dyson is the player, still limping. Where's number 7, 21-year-old midfielder, hoping he can just shake that one away. And we resume with a throw on the far side for the home team, which is headed away by Murphy as Dyson comes back on and York back up to 11. Wilson on the attack for United. Directed back to the keeper with Fraser lurking dangerously in the middle. Kel Watts, whose senior debut in a competitive game came on the final day of the season before last against Liverpool at St James's in the Premier League. Hayden for Ritchie. Gets turned and has a look up. Joe Linton's got space and options to the right. Murphy. 3 in the middle, now 4 as Joe Linton gets himself into the box. Hendrick and Murphy with a 1-2. Here comes the cross. And Duckworth wasn't really sure what was around him, so didn't take any risks. Corner for Newcastle, first of the game. No ball, boys or girls, on that part of the ground, so Fraser has to hop the fence himself. Ritchie's made a run, offering himself short. York have got that covered. Ball goes towards the back post, and Fernandez, did he keep it in? No. It was Watts who put it in after it had gone out and the flag was up on the far side and the whistle had been blown. Let's give him back to Newcastle. Hendrick with the header. Inside to Callum Wilson. Again, 2 players on him. And now Clayton Donaldson. Isaac Hayden with a tackle that was illegal. May have hurt himself as well, Hayden. Injured at Brighton last season and then didn't feature in any of Newcastle's last 9. It was a knee injury. Not quite sure what the problem is there. And now he will receive some attention. And on such a hot day, maybe the break is a good thing for the players, though there is a bit of a breeze. No activity on the Newcastle bench or among the substitutes who are sitting on the blue seats behind the dugout. Hayden helped to his feet. And 10 minutes of pre-season only. You would hope that he will be able to continue. So United down to 10 temporarily. And the defensive line has dropped to level with the edge of the D. Played square by York. There's Scott Barrow slipping it through. And they've got runners. Donaldson among them. Just a bit too much pace on the ball. And a Newcastle goal kick. Hayden's back on in the middle of the park. Langley with a goal kick. I'm sure you're aware too that Martin Dubravka not available, obviously played at the Euros for Slovakia, but has since undergone an operation on a foot injury. So another reason why Langley has his chance from the start today. Ritchie to Wilson. Looks for Fraser. Dyson away for York. McLaughlin brings it under control. Got a man to the left, which is Barrow making the overlapping run, and the cross comes in. Fernandez away. It's Ritchie towards Wilson. Duckworth got there. And York keep possession. Ritchie for Joelinton's run through the middle. It's a ball to release him over the top and taken down on the chest by Newcastle's number 7. Gets away from his man. Great play by Joelinton. And then the ball back to Hendrick. Just a bit too short, unfortunately. And now he's down and signals to the bench. Play continues into midfield, and McLaughlin sticks it out to allow Newcastle to get some treatment to Joelinton. And after playing that ball, he went down and signalled straight away. It didn't look too good. It was a good run. And the medical men from both clubs have been quite busy so far, and players taking this opportunity to head over to the dugout area for a drink. Dwight Gale has gone for a jog down to the right for Newcastle United. No goals yet. And Joelinton is heading along the goal line. Gale does some exercises. Ball was put out by York, so it will be a Newcastle throw, and I'm sure they will give it back to them. The way Joelinton is now jogging might suggest that he is going to be able to come back on, although he's heading, looked like he was heading down towards the tunnel. Here he is. Fourth official picked up a numbers board, which may have indicated that a change was coming, but we play on with a Newcastle throw in the left back position. Matt Ritchie thought about a long one there across the box. 3 options down the line. Headed out before he could get to Joelinton. He has it this time though. It's Fraser, who made 2 appearances from the bench for Scotland at the Euros. It's his first Newcastle appearance since that game against Brighton that I mentioned, and sorry for reminding you about it, on the 20th of March. It was a groin injury that kept him out of the final 2 months of the domestic season. Ryan Fraser makes himself available short, and back to Hayden. Murphy's pushed up high up on the right side. York have got players across there. Wilson gives it out to Murphy and back again. And now Ritchie is high up on this near side if Newcastle can switch it to wing backs, trying to use the space available to them down the sides. It's with Hendrick. Watts links up with Fraser and carries it forwards. Fraser again. It's opened up for Ryan Fraser. He slipped as he went to shoot. Wilson might have an effort. It's come to Murphy. And Hendrick through for Murphy. Clever ball. Cross is blocked. Scott Barrow with the defending for York. A very popular player in his 3 years at Gateshead. Was club captain and scored some stunning long-range goals. Made the move to York, Barrow, the Welshman, last summer. He's got it again. McLaughlin. That's Willoughby, the number 9. Then the cross comes in. Sweeping ball in from the left from Barrow. There's no one in the middle to make the most of the delivery. Fraser was stretching and slipping. Ritchie's there and Watts down the line for Fraser. Gets a free kick. That is foul by Akil Wright. Moved quickly by Newcastle. As Steve Bruce watches with hands in pockets on the far side and a cap on. Lascelles to Hendrick. Every York player bar one is behind the ball. No way through at the moment, but a set piece for a push in the back on Joelinton from the York skipper Sean Newton, an experienced defender at non-league level. And that's the end of Joelinton's afternoon, a premature end. Less than 20 minutes for the Brazilian. A good run, got into the box, and as he cut the ball back, something wasn't right. And after treatment and carrying on, he is replaced by Dwight Gale, and Joelinton straight down the tunnel, followed by some of Newcastle's medical staff. Murphy's free kick round the back, keeper takes it. Fernandez was there, Gale straight on, had made a run too. Whitley's long ball forward, now Hendrick with one for Newcastle. Gale just got bumped there by Duckworth. It's good defending. Saw it back to the keeper, Whitley. 21 years of age, from the York Academy, but has played for South Shields on loan. There's quite a few northeast connections in the York team and among the staff. It's good strong play by Kurt Willoughby. It's Newcastle's ball again though, Matt Ritchie. Short one inside to Gale. York regain possession through Dyson, and Barrow carries it up to halfway. He likes to get forwards. Heaney, a former Newcastle man, stopped by Murphy. Gets a return ball from Hendrick, and now Hayden's got Wilson on halfway. Back to Gale, and a through ball for the pace of Ryan Fraser, who gets there ahead of his man and tries to lift it over the keeper. And it's just clipped the side netting, maybe the outside of the post from Ryan Fraser. Silence in the ground as Fraser directed that one towards goal. No Newcastle fans here, it's only home supporters. And that's the closest we've come. Despite Hayden's appeals, that's a York throw. Duckworth to Donaldson. Donaldson is actually still contracted to his former club Bradford, so is down on the York team sheet as a trialist, but has rejoined the club and scored in friendly. Whitby scored the winner last weekend. It's York's only other outing in this pre-season. Hendrick with a quick ball to Gale. Maybe looking for the run of Wilson, just holds on to it. Fraser now tries to pick out Callum Wilson. Keeper's left his area. Got good height on the clearance. Won't quite reach halfway. And Fraser, not renowned for winning headers, but got to that one. Willoughby, the York number 9, is a prolific goal scorer at non-league level. A player they'll be hoping can help fire them to promotion back to the National League this season. It's intercepted by Newcastle, and Fraser just overrunning it. Experienced McLaughlin, 30 years of age now, there to win it back. Diagonal ball from Newton for the run of Duckworth, and he's in here. An opportunity for York, and that's a really good save by Dan Langley. Flashed across goal from Michael Duckworth, right-footed. And the 6'7" Langley, full stretch, big save. And York have a corner on the far left side. Just not sure Newcastle saw the run, but Newton did. Perfect pass, and very close to 1-0 York. That's a Newcastle head to the ball. It was Fernandez, and Ritchie's onto it. There's no player in black and white further than 10 yards from their own penalty box, so they try to pass it out, but can't get out of the defensive third. Decent spell this for Steve Watson's team against Newcastle. Heaney, who's now popped up on the right side. Dyson, high ball towards the back of the box. Murphy took it down. And another corner. It's Ollie Dyson who will take it. Everybody in black and white is in the penalty area. It goes back to Scott Barrow, who takes a touch and then takes a hit. Too much height on that one from Barrow. Now we're going to have a break in play. It's a drinks break midway through the first half. Applause from the fans just sitting in front of us for York's Clayton Donaldson, who has left a water bottle on this side of the pitch. But Newcastle going across to Steve Bruce and his staff, already having had to make a change with Joe Linton off injured and Dwight Gale on. Use this opportunity just to remind ourselves of the two teams. Newcastle, Dan Langley in goal, three central defenders, Jamal Lascelles, Federico Fernandez and Kel Watts Jacob Murphy, right wing back, Matt Ritchie, left wing back, Jeff Hendrick in the middle of the park alongside Isaac Hayden, and Ryan Fraser operating mainly from this left side. Dwight Gale on for Joe Linton, and Callum Wilson leading the attack. York, Ryan Whitley in goal, Michael Duckworth, Josh King, Sean Newton and Scott Barrow. From right to left is the back four. The two deeper central midfield players, Paddy McLaughlin and Akil Wright. Mackenzie Heaney, Ollie Dyson, Kurt Willoughby and Clayton Donaldson. Willoughby may actually be further forwards than Donaldson, but it does seem fairly fluid. Newcastle's bench, by the way: Max Thompson, the 16-year-old goalkeeper, Kieran Clark, Paul Dummett, Matty and Sean Longstaff, Jamal Lewis, Alan San-Maxima, Dwight Gale, Yoshinori Muto. No Shelby because of a knock, no Lejeune in the squad either. That's a free kick given against Wilson for York, who, by the way, have on the bench Matty Brown, Michael Woods, Jason Gilchrist, former South Shield striker, Jack DeGruchy, Archie Whitfield, Luke Jones and 4 trialists, which will make things interesting if they appear at some point. Good skill by Wright. Donaldson blocked off by Fraser. Good battle between those two ends in. Ryan Fraser pulling his opponent down to the deck. Duckworth swings it in. Fernandez came off his heel and went behind. Mackenzie Heaney to take it. Could go short. He has an option. It's towards the middle of the 6-yard box. Flicked away by United. McLaughlin there with the calm header. And Duckworth didn't take any risks. Forwards it goes, and this is Willoughby. 3 in the box for support. It's come across to Dyson. Wouldn't reach Donaldson in the centre. Tidy play by Newcastle's Ryan Fraser. It's Jacob Murphy. Gale inside. Wilson, the furthest player forwards in the centre. It's Hayden and now Watts and Ritchie. Square to Fraser. And now Hayden. Gale made a run through the centre. Ball didn't come his way. This is Fernandez having a look up from halfway. Picks out Jeff Hendrick, starting his 2nd season in black and white. Lascelles to Fernandez. This is his 4th year at the club. He's just signed a new contract. And one of a handful of players to have done so this summer. Federico Fernandez. He's on the ball again. This is Matt Ritchie. 4 in the middle. It comes round the back. There's Murphy. Good save. Connected with his head, Jacob Murphy. Ryan Whitley made the stop. Went for the drive that time. Quickly blocked. Now a cross from Murphy. Keeper backpedaling. Makes the claim. Watts gets to that one ahead of Donaldson. He slotted in nicely, Cal Watts. He's good on the ball, and not for the first time there, bringing it forwards. Ritchie makes a run inside, ends up being knocked to the floor. Watts can carry on himself. Through for Fraser. Wilson looking for it. Didn't connect in the way that he would have liked. Difficult one, backpedaling. Ball bending away from goal. Took a bit of a whack as well. Comfortable header from Fernandez. Watts on for Fraser and Ritchie over the top. There's Wilson, takes it down. Lovely first touch. Back out wide it comes. Got numbers in the middle. Here's Ritchie, cuts it back. Callum Wilson takes a touch and then hits. It's a corner. York throwing themselves in the way to prevent the goal. Newcastle with the Murphy header a few moments ago, and Wilson there maybe just getting a bit closer. They've left Murphy back near the centre circle. York have got one who stayed up there as Fraser delivers the corner kick. Heaney hooks it away. Willoughby, the player who had stayed in a relatively advanced position, started to chase, but it's going to beat him. And it's a throw. Fernandez, Watson, Lascelles have all dropped back. And both teams regained their shape. Hayden to Fernandez. Ritchie, part of the forward line at the moment, wanted the ball played earlier. He now drops back. Fraser's got space on this left side. Patient possession from Newcastle. Watts is making a run down the wing. Ritchie gives it to him and then back again. Hendrick for the run of Murphy. And a diving stop to cut the cross out from Ryan Whitley. Gale was near post. Wilson, though, coming in dangerously further back. He would have been the one had the York keeper not made that intervention. It's a free header for Fernandez. Barrow gets the throw, gets the decision. Dwight Gale not too happy. Murphy up to Wilson. Fraser just off him. And Gale to the right. It's Ryan Fraser for Newcastle United. Plenty of red shirts back there. Wilson's picked out a pass to release Ritchie, looking for Gale. Newton with the defending. It's come as far as Isaac Hayden. Donaldson's got it back for York. Steve Watson's team keeping it. Watson's been in charge since January 2015. He made the move down a division to York then, having been at Gateshead for just over a year. And that ball over the top gets Willoughby into an advanced position in a wide area. He has got support. Puts the ball in himself, and it's not a bad one, looking for Heaney. And maybe the Newcastle defenders in front put him off or obscured his view of the action, but looked a bit disappointed he didn't do a bit better with that one. Gale with a challenge to win it back. Fraser got caught late. No complaints from Josh King, the York defender. Heading back there, the number 12. Hayden goes square to Watts. Tried to lift one into an area. He thought Ritchie was going to run in, but he then held his position. No one there in black and white. Backpedaling Fernandez wins that above Donaldson. And Langley, who's made one terrific save and hasn't had much else to do, certainly not with his hands. Seen a bit of the ball at his feet. Fernandez for Newcastle. Lascelles. Hendrick made a forward run from central midfield. Ball didn't go down that channel. Gale then with a dart through the centre. Goes square. Newcastle still playing their way forwards. Hendrick closed down by McLaughlin. Didn't give him a moment's peace there. It's Hendrick again. Back to Ritchie and inside towards Wilson. Well defended. Away only as far as Hendrick. It's the better of McLaughlin this time. Now Gale. And it's a free kick, but not for a foul, it's for offside. And presumably against Dwight Gale, coming back from an offside position. Now he complains to the referee. Final 5 minutes of this goalless first half. Free kick given for a foul. Lascelles comes onto that ball from Hayden. What a run this is from the skipper. Eventually stopped, but he went a long way with it. Didn't think anyone was going to be able to prevent him from breaking on goal. Now Dwight Gale is in a bit of trouble. Barrow with the ball to Willoughby for York. Heaney just in a bit of space on the edge of the box in between defenders. The number 15, keep an eye on him. 22 years old now, Mackenzie Heaney. 3 years since he was released by Newcastle, and a very promising young player, but had a bad injury, which probably contributed to him leaving the club. And now Newcastle with numbers on York, and Wilson with Hendrick to the right. Here's Jeff Hendrick, saved by the legs of Whitley this time. It was a good opportunity, but denied once more. There's Newton over the top. Another accurate ball, but Willoughby just not holding his line. Flag is up on this near side. Nothing on up ahead for Matt Ritchie, so back he goes. Lascelles down the line. Murphy. Hendrick's making a run and gets onto the ball. Wilson, closest player to it in the middle. Good run by Hendrick. York deal with the cross. Ritchie on for Fraser and gets it again. Hendrick, Gale and Wilson just on the edge of the box. Not much pressure on the ball from York until it goes into Ritchie. McLaughlin biting at his heels. Quite a high line at the moment. Newcastle commit more players forwards. York drop a bit. Murphy has to go back down the line. It's Fernandez for Ritchie. Ball to the far side of the area, and corner it is. Barrow with a header behind, maybe didn't get a shout. Murphy was in a wide position and would have kept it in, you would think. Chance to go in at half-time with a 1-0 lead. Murphy stayed back on halfway again. Fraser's dropped a bit deeper. Everyone else in there for this. Ball in from Matt Ritchie. Headed away. Hendrick trying to keep it alive. 2 minutes have been added, or a minimum of 2 minutes. Jacob Murphy That'll be a throw right by the corner flag. Nothing comes of that for Newcastle. Now we're into the second of the 2 minutes that were displayed on the numbers board. Hendrick for Wilson to chase. Newton got his head to it, but Newcastle still on the attack. It's Hendrick. And that is the last act of the first half. Goalless at the break at the LNER Community Stadium between York City and Newcastle United. Dan Langley with a really good save away to our right to keep the scores level, to keep it goalless. At the other end for Newcastle, well, a couple of opportunities. Murphy among them with a header. Wilson had one that was deflected over. Jeff Hendrick involved as well, but as the players head inside for the half-time break, and changes possibly to follow in the second 45. The score here on NUFC TV is York City 0, Newcastle United 0. And welcome back to the LNER Community Stadium for the second half between York City and Newcastle United here on NUFC TV. Goalless after the first 45 minutes, and details of changes at half-time coming up, although Newcastle have had Alan Saint-Maximin out in his black and white stripes during the break. And he has remained on the pitch, so safe to assume that he will play in this second half. Looks like Jamal Lewis is on the pitch there as well. And it seems as though Callum Wilson and Jamal Lascelles are the players who are no longer out there from the 11 that started the game for Newcastle. York have made a change as well. They've brought Matty Brown on at the back, away to our right, wearing captain's armband. So there's the Newcastle change. That is Saint-Maximin 10 for Wilson, number 9. And the second half gets underway. So while things settle down, we'll check exactly who is out there and who isn't. And of course who is still on the bench. But Newcastle, with Saint-Maximin, very definitely part of things for this second half. So it's Dan Langley in goal, and then 3 central defenders. Isaac Hayden's dropped back in. He's the right of the 3 on the ball now. Fernandez in the middle. Federico Fernandez and Kel Watts playing as the left-sided central defender. And Jacob Murphy on it, right wing back, and Jamal Lewis there, who has come on as well at left wing back. Looks like Jeff Hendrick in a holding midfield role with Ryan Fraser and Matt Ritchie either side of him. Dwight Gale on for Joe Linton in the first half after an injury, and Alan Saint-Maximin up front. Joe Linton, by the way, was sitting in the stand. He's still there, just above the tunnel, and had some ice on either his bottom of his left thigh or the top of his left knee for a period of time. We'll find out from Steve Bruce after the game a bit more about that injury. And it looks like just the one change for York, with Matty Brown on for Sean Newton. Donaldson's offside. So York with Ryan Whitley in goal, and then from right to left at the back, Michael Duckworth, Josh King, Matty Brown and Scott Barrow. Paddy McLaughlin, Akil Wright in the centre of midfield. Mackenzie Heaney and Ollie Dyson, with Clayton Donaldson and Kurt Willoughby in the attack. York still have on the bench Michael Woods, Jason Gilchrist, Jack DeGruchy, Archie Whitfield, Luke Jones and 4 trialists. Newcastle's subs still Max Thompson, the keeper, Kieran Clark, Paul Dummett, Sean and Matty Longstaff, and Yoshinori Muto. Jacob Murphy. Gale, good ball out wide for Fraser. There's plenty in the box. Hendrick delivers. It's comfortable for the keeper though. Right underneath it, Jeff Hendrick. It's right with a burst from central midfield, and now Heaney. Dangerous ball in. Fernandez got his boot to the ball. And Murphy up to Gale. Look to play in Lewis down the left there, Newcastle. York coming away with it now down the other end. Heaney's there at the back post, but Murphy heads it away. McLaughlin dispossessed. Fraser can't get there. And right to keep this York City attack alive. Heaney had Barrow on the outside, put it in himself. And now Barrow lets it run for a throw near the corner flag. Kel Watts, the 21-year-old from Alnwick in Northumberland, up to Sam Maxima. Cut inside. He's threatening one of those runs. Halted, though, by a challenge and a whistle to signal a free kick to the home side. Rebecca Welsh is the referee from Washington. And you may recall she was the first woman to be appointed to a Football League match when she took charge of the game between Harrogate and Port Vale in League Two in April. And Newcastle sending, I think, Sean Longstaff out down the touchline to warm up. As Fernandez rolls it to Hayden. So comfortable in a number of positions, Isaac Hayden. There's Jeff Hendrick. Gets away just from McLaughlin. Very deep Alan San Maxima. Watts to Lewis and then carries on his run. Back to San Maxima. Try to get Murphy in. Little angled ball. York cut out. Hayden keeps Newcastle moving forwards. So does this man, San Maxima. Great feet and speed. And then down on the edge of the box. It's classic Alan San Maxima. And the fear in the eyes of the York City defenders as he turned and started to run. Hasn't taken him long. Hasn't taken long for him to be chopped down either. And there'll be a few who fancy this free kick. And we've seen what Jacob Murphy can do. Dwight Gale is over the ball, and the other player, Matt Ritchie. So two right-footed players, and Ritchie there with his left as the wall gets back 10 yards. Well, Murphy's gone away, so it's either Gale or Ritchie. Keeper just in front of his line, near to the right post. It's Ritchie into the wall and back to him and into the wall again. Appeals for handball by Matt Ritchie. All Newcastle have is a throw. Matty Longstaff is warming up as well with the orange bib on. Murphy looking for Gale, cut out, but York stopped by Murphy. Fraser with a flick. Watts over the top for the pace of Jamal Lewis, but too much on that ball. York will have more visitors from the northeast over the next week and a half. Sunderland are here on Wednesday, and then championship opposition in Middlesbrough on Tuesday the 27th of July. Newcastle's next assignment after this one is Doncaster Rovers of League One away on Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. And they've got to go to Rotherham and Burton before the end of the month, and Norwich at St James's Park the week before the Premier League season gets going. Gale closing the keeper down, and almost a mistake by York at the back there, thanks to the pressure from the Newcastle centre forward. That's a much better kick, which is helped on by Donaldson, and centre forward play by Kurt Willoughby. Willoughby, who York had on loan previously and then signed him permanently from Fylde, also of the National League North in the summer. Heaney's cross, it's blocked and goes behind. Corner ball. Same problem Ryan Fraser had in the first half. No one to retrieve the ball. Saint-Maximin there, just out of the picture, at the back of the D. Furthest Newcastle player forwards. Plenty of height on that ball. Langley came, didn't get there. No one got there after it was headed back across. Maybe a bit fortunate, Newcastle, that the clean sheet is still intact. Fernandez gave a lot of consideration to playing Lewis in. Just delayed the pass, went instead to Hayden. And that one's cut out, but Jamal Lewis, a big run down the far left side. Jacob Murphy, one of those players to commit his future to the club with a new deal earlier in the summer. That's Saint-Maximin through for Fraser. And behind for a York goal kick. Steve Bruce is calling, I think, for Sean Longstaff. Maybe for the other players who are warming up. May head back to the technical area. Could be time for some more Newcastle changes. Hayden's header on. Gale, like he got clattered. Can't believe that he doesn't get the decision. There's a couple that have gone against him this afternoon. And play on was the call there. Substitutes getting ready to enter the fray for Newcastle on the far side. Saint-Maximin wins the ball back, then gets away. Murphy making a run. Saint-Maximin might want to do it all himself, and does, and goes for the near top corner. Didn't bend back in towards goal, but getting into the groove, finding his rhythm, Alan Saint-Maximin. And now here come the changes. It's going to be York first, with Akil Wright going off to be replaced by Michael Woods. And Kurt Willoughby has also gone off. Jason Gilchrist is on. Gilchrist, the number 11. And they made a further change. Mackenzie Heaney has been taken off, and the players just come on there. Number 17 is a trialist, and he's on the team sheet as trialist D. So your guess is as good as mine as to who he actually is. And the Longstaff brothers are on for Newcastle. Sean with the bright yellow boots, and brother Matty there, just receiving the ball from Sean. And Hendrick and Fraser are the men who've gone off. York, though, trying to create something with the substitutes immediately. And Michael Woods with the cutback. Clayton Donaldson with a finish, but just couldn't get it around Newcastle defender. Newcastle still have Muto, Dummett and Clark as options on the bench for Steve Bruce. Saint-Maximin just asked a bit too much of Jacob Murphy. Puts his arm in the air to acknowledge and apologise. So, half an hour for Matty and Sean Longstaff in the middle of the park. And half an hour to try and find some goals for both teams. A free kick for York City. Dwight Gale with a big grin. Bit of a late one. From Gale. Hayden got in front of Donaldson. Ritchie trying to find Lewis. Dyson got there though, as the York trialist. Here he is on his again, the lanky, wiry player wearing number 17. Barrow down the line for Woods, and almost a return ball. Would have been were it not for Newcastle's Isaac Hayden. Brown forwards. Got it back Newcastle. Matty Longstaff's hurt. Has gone down on his knees straight away. Got caught. Still deciding whether he needs some treatment. I think he may have been winded perhaps, so he's okay. Watts into Longstaff, 2 academy graduates for Newcastle United. Matty then into another challenge, and ball spins up and away and out for their throw. Here's Matty Brown for York. Not a lot of pace about the game at the moment. It is hard work out there in the hot sun. Watts to Lewis. Matty Longstaff, didn't see much of him at all last season. Only a handful of appearances. That's a good ball for Alan Saint-Maximin, who's kept it in. 2 to take on. Now the cross. And, oh, almost an own goal. Headed back towards his own goal. And tipped over by Ryan Whitley, who had to be alert there. That ball was coming back, and it would have been a lovely finish had it been from an attacking player. It's heading into the top corner. And just pushed over the top. Matt Ritchie to send the ball back in from this Newcastle right. Looking for Gale, headed away. Sean Longstaff back into the middle. Murphy's ball out wide for Ritchie. It's a favourable angle for him to swing it in. Instead he goes square. Longstaff with a little dink. Now to brother Sean. Fernandez in hard and low. Oh, and coming in was Kel Watts, and he just couldn't get a touch at the back post. And time for another drinks break. It's NUFC TV and it's 0-0. A smattering of chances and opportunities across the game at both ends. And once again, let's just have a look at how the two teams are lined up now after some changes at the break and during this second half. Dan Langley in goal for Newcastle, who have Isaac Hayden, Federico Fernandez and Kel Watts as the 3 centre-halves from right to left. Jacob Murphy continuing at right wing back. Jamal Lewis has come on at left wing back. It's now Sean and Matty Longstaff in central midfield. Matt Ritchie is out there. Alan Saint-Maximin came on at half-time, and Dwight Gale leading the attack. Earlier, Joe Linton went off after around 20 minutes with a knock. Looks like Paul Dummett might be coming on soon for Newcastle. He's still an option on the bench. Kieran Clark's there. Yoshinori Muto, and the replacement goalkeeper is Max Thompson, who is part of the under-18s and under-23 side. Played in the FA Youth Cup quarter-final in April. Thompson. And you may have heard that through the loudspeaker. Paul Dummett is on, replacing Fernandez. So Kel Watts has gone into the middle of the Newcastle back three. Hayden, Watts and Dummett is how they're set up across the back line. And Dummett extending his stay with the club for another season. Took the option, Newcastle, to give long-serving Geordie defender another year. Well, ball put in, but it's not going to count for anything as the flag is up. York, by the way, their team. Ryan Whitley in goal. Michael Duckworth, Josh King, Matty Brown and Scott Barrow at the back. Paddy McLaughlin, Michael Woods, and number 17 there in the centre circle. It's down as Trilist D. We're informed it could be Samuel Fielding, a 22-year-old midfielder who's from York and previously been at the club, also at Barnsley and Salford. Clayton Donaldson is in attack. Jason Gilchrist has come on as well. There'll be a corner for Newcastle. And Ollie Dyson, the number 7, the other York player in the 11 that's out there at the moment. Trying to keep on top of all of the changes. Lewis has stayed back. Matty Longstaff in the middle of the half. Watts makes a run to the near post. It's over his head and flicked across goal and wide. Dwight Gale all alone. It's an uncontested header. And probably feels as though he's passed up a good opportunity to open the scoring. It's one of those that firmer contact would have got it on target, but had anybody been coming in, making a late run at the back stick, they may well have got their boot to it. York attacking down the right. Gilchrist, nice turn. A chance for Duckworth to deliver. Headed on by Woods. Keeper comes and has to punch over the top of McLaughlin. Used all of his 6'7" there, Dan Langley. Sean Longstaff's crossfield ball cut out. A nice turn by Ollie Dyson. He's had some good moments for York today. And that one ends there with Kel Watts in the way. Jamal Lewis bringing Newcastle into opposition territory. Sam Maxima. This makes it look so easy. Murphy going on the outside. The cut back, and then this shot from Matt Ritchie with his right boot. And Whitley was equal to it. Got it behind for a corner. Would, of course, have wanted it on his left, Ritchie, but forcing a save. And another set piece for Steve Bruce's side. And Yoshinori Muto continues to warm up as Ritchie delivers towards the back post. Donaldson with a flick straight to Sam Maxima. Has to go back on the outside. This is dangerous. The Longstaffs link up. Murphy for Ritchie. back onto his left and sent into the box. Gale gets up again. Couldn't connect with it. Brown to Woods, given away, and a foul by Barrow. Taking one for the team to stop Sean Longstaff. Breaking down the Newcastle right. Another change. Ollie Dyson going off. And another trialist coming on for York. Number 14 is on the team sheet as trialist B. Or maybe trialist A. Our list says trialist B. It's a trialist anyway. And he wears number 14 for York. Murphy or Ritchie with the free kick. It's Murphy. Barrow with the header and Gilchrist. That's a nice ball into space in midfield, and the trialist pushes the pass out wide to Donaldson. Two trialists linking up there for York and playing it away from Newcastle. You have it back, and here is Alan Sam-Maxima. Only Gale ahead of him. Plenty of grass to run into. Gets it to Gale and then back again. Alan Sam-Maxima. Oh, fantastic defending. Josh King threw himself along the floor to make the block and stop Newcastle's magic man from making it 1-0. Looked as though the net was going to bulge, but King had other ideas. Great defending to keep it at 0-0. Longstaff short to Ritchie. Lots of height on that delivery. Watts getting close. Then Longstaff into the side netting. More pressure from Newcastle United, but unable to get that opening goal. Another reminder that no John Joe Shelby today, just got a slight knock, we're told. Also not in the squad, but has been training. We're not sure why he's not part of things today as Florian Lejeune, but we'll endeavour to find out from Steve Bruce after the game. And Martin Dubravka, injured, has had surgery. Also missing, having played international football over the summer. Miguel Almiron, Fabian Schär and Emil Kraft. Ryan Fraser, though, did feature at the Euros, but started the game, came back. As we discussed earlier, hasn't had a lot of football in recent months. There's one more change for Newcastle about to be made. Looks like Yoshinori Muto. Ritchie into the path of Dummett. Lewis is well up ahead of him. Longstaff. He's got Dummett out wide. This is Sean Longstaff. Murphy. It'll flick back to Matty Longstaff. Alan Sam-Maxima. Plays the pass rather than heading for goal. And Lewis's cross is blocked, and York can try to bring it away. And that was a trip. So here's the change, and Dwight Gale, who came on for Joe Linton early in the first half, is going off, and it's Yoshinori Muto who replaces him, back from a season-long loan in Spain with Eibar. Scored 3 times in 28 appearances. Muto into the final year of his Newcastle deal. Clayton Donaldson gets a breather for York City. Steve Watson bringing on another trialist, number 16. Dummett to Lewis, back again. You've got 3 on the edge of Newcastle's box. But as you might expect and understand, not a great deal of pace or intensity about the pressing, or indeed the play from the back. Here's Kel Watts, pinged over to Paul Dummett. Hayden can't go forwards, has to go back to Watts, and that ball again across to the far side for Dummett. Saint-Maximin running down the line. Dummett looks for him, but Michael Duckworth, once of Hartlepool, intercepts, takes it down on his chest, and it's his ball forwards to Gilchrist, slipped through, and York with a trialist in the wide right position, well on the attack. Back it comes, and Newcastle have dealt with that immediate threat. Muto closing down. McLaughlin to Brown. And they look for the number 16, one of the York trialists. Newcastle have it back. Steve Bruce watching by the side of the pitch, hands on hips, as Longstaff lifts one over to the left, and Saint-Maximin takes it down. Muto through the middle. Something could be in the offing here for Newcastle, but York have got numbers back very quickly. Still, they attack Newcastle. Lewis to Matty Longstaff. Might go himself. Leaves it for Sean Longstaff. Muto. Hayden. He could hit it. Does. Blocked. And what's got there before Gilchrist. And wide from Alan Saint-Maximin. Two teams have met in pre-season in recent memory. That was back in 2015 at York's former home, Bootham Crescent, and Steve McLaren had been appointed Newcastle head coach, and York, who were then in League Two, had a few seasons back in the Football League. That spell ended that season in 2016, but they beat Newcastle 2-1 on that occasion. And we're still waiting and looking for a goal of any sort here today. McLaughlin with a trip on Ritchie. Close control and skill from Alan Saint-Maximin. And more terrific play to introduce Jacob Murphy. Wins a corner from that cutback, although Scott Barrow felt that the last touch was off the Newcastle man. Steve Bruce taking his seat, taking his baseball cap off as well. Watts makes that run towards the near post again. Headed out as far as Matty Longstaff. Gilchrist helped out wide. And a bit of a race on here. York with options through the middle. And now Woods wide left to Barrow. Cuts inside. Scott Barrow. Low shot with his right. Big deflection. Corner kick. Dan Langley scrambling back across goal. Not a lot of pace on the ball. Wasn't the most powerful effort, but that deflection caused some alarm. And Langley very pleased and relieved to see it go the other side of the post. A York trialist to take the corner. Saint-Maximin hands on hips in about the middle of the half. The only Newcastle player not in the box to defend. It was a good ball into a dangerous area. Eventually stabbed clear. Tidy play, and it is a York throw. I think the assistant referee got that right. That went out of Newcastle's Isaac Hayden. Barrow sticks it in there. Good header. Oh, fantastic goal. Michael Duckworth for York City with a header from the back of the box into the top corner. And that might just be the winner. Ball in, delivered from Scott Barrow with his right foot. And Duckworth got up, got big. And Dan Langley is beaten. No clean sheet for the 20-year-old. His first team debut for Newcastle United. And it's York City 1, Newcastle United 0. And final couple of minutes of the 90. Not much time to conjure up an equaliser. Let's see if there is a change to the way this game goes. Will York drop deeper? Will Newcastle commit players forwards? Dummett with a dink. Muto's offside. Patrick McLaughlin. Released by Newcastle 10 years ago without making a senior appearance in the middle of the midfield for York. He is named the man of the match. The number 6, McLaughlin, there, just on the halfway line as the ball goes back to Duckworth, the goal scorer. Having not been able to watch their team, and having never been able to watch their team here before today, York supporters present. There's a restricted, limited capacity, a couple of thousand. They're certainly enjoying it, and no doubt enjoying the scoreline of 1-0 to the National League North team. 3 minutes is shown by the fourth official, and a minimum of 3 minutes we will play as Newcastle try to draw level. Ritchie to Matty Longstaff. Hayden goes on the outside of Murphy and receives the ball down the line. Corner. Matt Ritchie coming across to take all of Newcastle's corners from this side. Five in the box for Newcastle. It's Kel Watts. He's gone down holding his face, obviously being caught. And a comfortable save for Ryan Whitley in the York goal. And treatment just being given to Watts. It's his nose, I think. I'm not sure if there's some blood. Obviously, yeah, there is a bit of blood. Got a whack. And just being treated. And this, well, if it doesn't eat into the additional period, it might well elongate it. Whether or not Rebecca Welsh, the referee, will play 3 minutes or just call time on the match, we're not sure. Watts is back on his feet, but he will have to go off before coming back on. It's York's ball to restart the match. Watts' header saved by the goalkeeper. And with Watts off the pitch, Newcastle just with a back four of Murphy, Hayden, Dummett and Lewis at the moment, while they are down to 10. Muto trying to find Ritchie, couldn't do so. Brilliantly kept in on that far side. And just ran out of room in the end there, York. Watts back on into the heart of Newcastle's defence. Slice from Jamal Lewis. And York just, well, seeing out the game with a succession of throws high up on the right-hand side, and that is the end of the match. And a goal from the York City right fullback, Michael Duckworth, a very good header. 3 minutes from the end of the 90. Was the only one that we had, and the National League North side, Steve Watson's team, beat Steve Bruce and Newcastle United 1-0 here at the LNER Community Stadium. Both teams did have chances. Newcastle looked like they were going to take the lead, particularly through Alan San-Maxima in this second half, but brilliant block from Josh King to divert the ball over. That was probably their best opportunity in the second 45. More worrying for Steve Bruce will be Joe Linton going off with an injury in the first half. We'll find out about his condition. Reaction will follow on NUFC TV and on social media in all the usual places soon. Thank you for choosing to watch the match with us. We'll have coverage of Newcastle's other friendlies this summer here on NUFC TV. Final score from the LNER Community Stadium is York City 1, Newcastle United 0.